Welcome to Round Robin. Cities United, a national group of mayors, recently came to Hampton to get some ideas about how to reduce violence and positively engage our young people. One of their main stops was at Y.H. Thomas Neighborhood Center, and we're going to take you there now so you can learn what Hampton is doing, as well as all those mayors from across the country.
Wow, what a reception. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here this morning, and welcome on behalf of Y.H. Thomas and the City of Hampton and all the various community partners in this room. And I would like for you to meet our partners in just a few minutes. But I am excited. I was wondering if the ceiling was going to be tall enough, because I tell you, we've got some giants in the room. When I looked up, when I went down the hallway this morning over at the Embassy Suite, and they kind of let me get to hear a few of the gold nuggets, and there was Mayor Nutter for Philadelphia, who was one of the convening members with Mayor Landrieu of Cities United. I was in awe. Then I walked a little bit and I saw Dr. Bell, who's definitely an icon. And I saw our mayors from Minneapolis and from Knoxville. And I'm like, whoa, we got it going on. So we're going to move real quickly this morning. We know you're on a tight schedule, but the afternoon group, we're going to put the pedal to the metal. So if y'all want to sneak back with the afternoon group, it is absolutely going to be awesome in here. One of the things that I would like to do is I would like to introduce our invited guests. We've got some presenters who are going to be presenting for 3 minutes apiece, but I want to introduce some of our honored guests on our side of the table here. And first, you've already met our host for this, but he's always our mayor, none other than Mayor Donnie Tuck. And if you all would do this for me, because we're moving so fast, and I know how extremely hard it is to hold applause because we have so many notables. But I want to zip through this, and if I fail to call anyone's name, like I said, come back to the afternoon session, and please still love me, but we're on a tight time schedule. I would like to acknowledge also our Vice Mayor and Y.H. Thomas Board Member Jimmy Gray, our Councilwoman Chris Sneed, Y.H. Thomas Board Member, Councilman Steve Brown, who is a former board member. Dr. Mason, are you here? I just want to make sure I'm calling you out right. Dr. Richard Mason, Hampton School Board. Jason Samuels, Hampton School Board. Delegate Jawan Ward, 92nd District, Commonwealth Attorney. Let's ring the bell for Anton Bell. Our former mayor, none other than George Wallace. Where are you at, Mr. Wallace? The Honorable George Wallace. He was instrumental in the Y.H. Thomas from the very beginning, instrumental in 2 All-America City Awards, and he was the mayor that signed us on to Cities United. So we wanted to make sure that we give him that special recognition. We also have with us this morning our Assistant Chief of Police and Board Member, Mr. Oren Gallup. I want to acknowledge quickly our building partners in the facility. We believe that our fire chief is here. Chief, are you here this morning? Chief Monk, there he is, our fire chief. Pam Kroom and the KC from Work One. We also have workforce development in this building. You all won't get a chance to see, but we got it going on. We have the, also again, I'm calling the Honorable Jimmy Gray in his second hat as the President and CEO of 200 Men Plus. Mr. Fernandez, are you here for 100 Black Men? All right, we have the Clean City Commission that's represented, the Urban League. Mr. Stephen Williams is here representing them. On behalf of the Hampton NAACP, we have Mr. Lance Jones. We have Michelle Barnes from HRHA. We have Mr. Hugh Bassett from the Old Northampton Community Organization, Ron Johnson from Y.H. Thomas Athletic Association, and Calvin Pearson from the Phoenix Alumni Association. So I'm going to stop right there with the respect for time. But I see Ann Bain over there representing our superintendent at our school board from the school division. She is the legislative director as well as community outreach. So Ann Bain is in the house. She's also one of our former board members. And I have a number of our Y.H. Thomas board members and advisory board members in the room. But you all know that if I could call every name in here, I would. But we're going to keep it moving for the sake of time. They only have 25 minutes, and I probably used up about 5 or 6 of them. So at this time, I would like to invite our good friend, the executive director of the Cities United, to come do the introductions, because we want to know who these great people are. Anthony Smith.
I don't know if I've got that much energy as Brother Moffitt today, but we're excited to be in your city. My name is Anthony Smith. I'm the Executive Director for Cities United, and we are honored to be co-hosted this event in your city with Mayor Tuck and the team. This is our 6th annual convening. A little bit about Cities United, founded in 2011 under the leadership of Mayor Nutter, Mayor Landrews, and Dr. Bell, and Sean Dove, and our friends at the National League of Cities. So we've been really working hard in building this relationship with cities. We work with mayors, elected officials, and as you will see, community members really focusing in on how do we create safe, healthy, and hopeful communities for all of our young people, with a focus on making sure we keep our young black men and boys alive, but not only alive, but that we create pathways for them to thrive and live out their lives so that they can be in these rooms and excited as our good friend, Mr. Moffitt, about life and moving forward. So who you have with us today, you have mayors who have signed on to be a part of our community, our membership. We have our advisory board, we have community partners, national community partners, and we also have our advisory board who are here and taking a tour and really wanting to see your city. So we wanted to make sure that we got out and really participated in this. So we're just honored to be here and excited to be in your space and looking forward to being in this historic city and it's a historic building. And if I could have those young people every morning wake me up, that would be the way I would want to be woken up every morning to get my day started, because I think I can go out and do anything after that kind of welcome. So just thank you all for your leadership and for your partnership. And thank you, Mayor Tuck, for inviting us to come to your great city.
Thank you so very much. And just for they've got the aerial up there. Did they put that picture up there? Because I'm going to find out who did that picture. Did y'all do that already? Oh, you did. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you like the Godfather of Marlon Brando. Revenge is best served cold. Okay. Okay, I'm getting off track. Got to stay on track. We believe that what we're doing here at Weiss Thomas is truly transformational, and we know that we're not the only ones. Weiss Thomas and Hampton's community involvement were a key component of Hampton being named in the All-America City in 2002 and 2014. And we also were a part of civic engagement. We repeated that honor. We placed 4th in the world in 2011 for the Reinhard Mann Award regarding our youth and civic engagement, and we have been successful because of a strong community bond, that spirit of giving back, and the people that believe that they have a responsibility for their neighbors. We have been intentional over the past 3 years in supporting programs that engage our young people beginning in preschool and continuing to lead through age 25. As you well know, homicide is the leading cause of death for African American males 15 to 34, and the second most common cause of death for Hispanic men ages 15 to 34. The culture of violence won't end unless we can replace it with a culture of encouragement, education, mentoring, and setting a path that lead our young people to a brighter future. Weiss Thomas Community Center Empowerment Model was founded in partnership with the City of Hampton based on 3 key principles: community governance, partnerships, and volunteerism. The City of Hampton paid for the renovations and pays for the upkeep of the building and provides some staffing, while the community continues with its volunteerism and governance. I already have mentioned to the group on the bus that for the first 10 years, this community center was ran by all volunteers, and not because we had to, but we wanted to prove to not only to the city and to the region that people given an opportunity to do for themselves will. And we've demonstrated that both with our resiliency as well as our sustainability. The community in this model has been replicated in other parts of the city and in some of our new neighborhood centers. And I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to give over to one of our great executive director, none other than, don't let me mess it up, I nicknamed her Tina Fey, and I want to make sure I didn't say that in front of y'all. Tina Banks Gray.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Well, I don't know about y'all, but I am fired up and a little tired because I did like 5 practice runs before y'all came in, make sure my young people had their energy up. So Mama's a little hot. So welcome to the best city in the world, I think. Welcome to Hampton. How are y'all doing? Awesome. So I wanted to give y'all a backdrop on what makes us unique and how we've been operating and how we continue to thrive with our legacy here at YH Thomas. So one thing that makes us a little different and makes our magic come alive is that we also, and y'all don't look, some of those pictures are incriminating, so y'all focus on me. So I don't know what they get. Y'all focus your energy and your attention right here. So what makes us a little unique is that we not only do I report to a board of directors, but I also am a staff member with the Hampton Parks and Recs and Leisure Services Department. And so through that partnership, we're able to be very intentional of the programs that we put into our center. We're very intentional about the specific programs that hone into those areas of violence prevention. So we're very intentional. We want to catch them at the ground level. So you saw our little young folks. So we actually have people come through our doors a little bit younger for pre-K, but we try to instill in them all of those quality programs as far as STEM. We have an amazing STEM program that involves our young people in animation. We also have mentorship programs that we involve in, but we not only focus on that generation, but we also have a gamut of programs that engage and exhibit quality of life to all brackets. So at any given time, you can see our Commonwealth attorney playing bingo with our seniors, Councilwoman Sneed line dancing with our seniors. So we have a great time at our community center here. But another thing that we want to make sure and let you know that we have innovative programs. So we want to stay on the cutting edge. We were here in 1954, but we make sure we are consistent with the programs that are consistent to the 21st century and the cutting edge. So we like to hang our hats on not only innovative programs, but our community partners that you're going to hear a little bit more about. So our community partners, we focus on grassroots efforts, faith-based, in addition to city entities. One of our shining stars that we just recently got into our building is through the economic development. Work One, Miss Pam Kroom is here. She's down the hallway. They actually focus on the underserved population, getting them job ready and off to the workforce. So that's something that we're really exciting. That makes us a shining star in the city of Hampton. So with that being said, like I said, we are just elated with the work that we do and our community partners. It's always like this every day, just want to let y'all know. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. W.L. Patrick. He is over our 50 Strong, which is another exciting and amazing program that we have here at YH Thomas. And once again, welcome to Hampton.
Good morning. I'm W.L. Patrick, just an average guy, shipyard worker, not a government employee, not a nonprofit. I just come here every Sunday to play ball, mentor young people from ages 10 to 25. Of course, it's not just basketball. Basketball is actually our hook. We really love the game, and we try to drive guys that love the game as well to come to the gym. It's one way to make a connection, to offer fellowship and mentorship to our young people. They come in sometimes with a barrier, like no one cares. We have to instill that confidence in them that we'll be here every Sunday for those 3 hours. They do gain basketball skills. They get better with team skills and building. We're on the court with them at all times, talking to them, mentoring, making sure they're doing the right things. They have a lot of issues and they come to us with some of their problems, and we do listen. Some of our older kids that come through, they mentor as well. So when we have a group of 25, we have them mentoring the younger kids, and we ask that they always govern themselves accordingly to our program for those 3 hours. We bring in speakers from the shipyard, elected officials, ministers, educators. When the kids aren't playing, we're talking. Some of our older kids, they come back after college or after high school, they come back and kind of reminisce about how things were, and they're really full of joy. We started about 2013, actually dubbed it 50 Strong, because we wanted to gauge 50 young men coming into the gym every week. And I think a few times we have reached that plateau. Anyone can do this. All we need is a gym, a school, All I did was ask White Thomas, and they afforded me the opportunity to do that. The government kind of stands in our way with grassroots. We ask that they let us do our jobs, cut through the red tape, stop the insurance policies, stop the nonprofit, let the grassroots do their thing. Don't kill the passion for guys that want to help out, whether it be through music, robotics, arts, whatever. 3 hours a week for 7 years. We've averaged over 1,200 participants coming to White Thomas at 50 strong. I know that we have touched a few lives. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm gonna try not to look too serious, because everybody said I don't smile, so I was thinking about getting plastic surgery like the Joker so I can have a permanent smile on my face. I'm Assistant Chief Oren Gallup. I'm one of our 3 assistant chiefs with the city of Hampton. We're unique than all the other cities in the 7 cities because all our assistant chiefs are African American males. So that's very unique for here. It was a time when I came, we didn't have any. Also, I'm the vice president of our local Noble chapter, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement. How many of y'all are familiar with y'all chapters? Good. What we do in Noble, what people don't realize, Noble was also one of the authors of the 21st Century Policing document with former President Obama. And that's been probably one of our most profound statements in law enforcement, following those 6 pillars. We also teach a law in your community class. Well, that class is about for young people that Noble has been authorized and approved by the Justice Department. We go in communities where we request it, and we'll go and we'll teach this class to help bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. I just recently went to our national convening in New Orleans, which of course I was there for all work, no play or anything like that. But I became one of the instructors. So what you can do in your communities, if you are having those issues, if you request the Justice Department, the COPS office, and Noble, we will send instructors and we'll work with the local law enforcement. How we're different here, I'm also a board member, Wise Thomas, and at Noble, we wanted to have a local footprint here. So we did is that we'll have an office here at Wise Thomas. We thought that'd be a good way for the young kids to see law enforcement in a different way because we'd be coming here for the meetings. So a lot of times, like our class that we teach with law in the community, it deals with how African American males should interact with the police. I'm torn about that because I shouldn't have to teach anybody about police because they should be like, why should an African American male have to act different with the police than any other race? So hopefully in a few years to where when they look back on it, that course will be obsolete because everybody be like, why are y'all teaching that we should be treated any different by the police? So hopefully we'll get to that point to where that course won't be needed. Something else we also do is that we look for fact-based results. And a lot of times we do things based off of emotion, where people say this works, but they have absolutely no facts to back it up. So what I've kind of done, and I've been very fortunate that I've been able to work with Johns Hopkins University, where we developed a program called SERVE, Community Engagement to Reduce Violence. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take all of the risk factors, social factors from economic, school, and we're gonna look at how can we reduce violence without it strictly being a law enforcement model. Wise Thomas will play a big part of that because they have the kids that we're looking for, and this is part of their agenda, is how do we make people positive? How do we have that positive impact in the community? Like I said, I've been very fortunate as being a police officer and African-American male because we also have to wear dual hats. When I go to an audience that expects, especially in front of other African-Americans, they don't want to hear any type of spin because you all will tell me real quick, we don't want to hear that. And they'll look at me and they're all like, no. So we have to bridge that gap. And also I feel fortunate that I can go into city government, I can go back to the community, and I do have that credibility. And I'm very fortunate that they asked us to be one of the partners here. And I think if you look at most of your, I would tell everybody in your cities when you go back, try to get your Noble chapters to be part of your community centers. Instead of having the separate branches, because I think that's the best place to have that local footprint in the community. And if you don't have a relationship with your local Noble chapter, you should, because they have a lot of resources that are available to each of the communities, from grants to programs to teaching, that where you should become involved into it. And like I say, I'm very honored to be up here in front of everybody. I hate going behind Mr. Moffitt because the way he speaks, he's real dynamic. But next will be Mr. Fernandez.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Joe Fernandez, and I am the president of the Virginia Peninsula chapter of the 100 Black Men. We are one of roughly 100 chapters of the 100 throughout the country. I'm sure many of you have chapters in your cities. If you don't and have an interest, we'd be happy to share information to get one established. We have been in this community for nearly 30 years now. We have 65 members, some of these nice young men back here are sitting back here and join us to support.
Where are they? Tell them to stand.
Stand up, gentlemen. Our membership also includes 2 mayors. The aforementioned Honorable George Wallace is a member, and the current mayor of Newport News, the Honorable Dr. McKinley Price, is a member of our chapter. Our primary focus is mentoring. We mentor over 60 youth in this building. We mentor both young men and young ladies. We don't charge any fees. We cover the costs of supplies, field trips, as well as our 3-day campus theme. A high percentage of our mentees would qualify for reduced lunch, and a majority are raised by a single parent, grandparent, or guardian. We have 65 men in our chapter, and we are all engaged in a wide range of professions. Each year, we introduce ourselves to the mentees and share something about our career profession. This is the first step in helping the mentees broaden their horizons and visualize a career path. The tagline of the 100 Black Men is what they'll see is what they'll be. The second step is we offer practical guidance to help them achieve their career goals. Our bi-weekly Saturday morning mentoring sessions provide instructions on goal setting, lifelong learning, financial literacy, conflict resolution, and many other practical steps to achieve their goals and objectives. We also provide tutoring on an individual basis for our mentees who are having difficulty in a particular subject. Finally, but most importantly, we become consistent and caring participants in the mentees' lives. We make periodic phone calls, go to the mentees' schools, meet their teachers, attend sporting events, and graduations. So our formula is working. This year we had 10 seniors in our program. All 10 graduated from high school. 7 are going on, starting now in fact, to a 4-year college. 2 are attending trade schools, and 1 is enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. So we believe we've made a difference in their lives. We also award scholarships to all our seniors. Over the course of the years, we've awarded over $350,000 in scholarships to about 150 mentees. And what makes this all worthwhile is when they return home with their degrees and come back and share their experience to our current crop of mentees. And I would just like to close by thanking Tina, the executive director, Mr. Moffett, and the board for allowing us to use this facility. Since we've been in this facility, we no longer have to pay rent, and therefore we're able to steer our funds to our programming. And so consequently, we've been able to greatly expand the number of youth we serve. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. I am Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray in the city of Hampton. I'm also president of the Hampton Roads Committee of 200 Plus Men. And we are a partner here at Y.H. Thomas Community Center with all of the programs going on. 200 Plus Men is a regional organization of men. We are focused on building a better community by enabling and inspiring our young people, our African-American young people and adults to achieve their highest potential. I'd like to ask members of 200 Plus Men who are here today to stand. Members of 200 Plus Men. We do have a very intentional focus on African American males, even though we do have a number of other programs that we do in the community to help advance the cause of the people who live in our community, and particularly the African Americans who live and need the assistance. So we're part of the village of a lot of young kids in our community. Our signature program is the 200 Plus Scholars Breakfast. We've been doing that. We just completed our 22nd year of honoring all of the African American males who are graduating from public and private schools in the region with a 3.0 or better grade point average, or a B average. And each year we work with the schools to receive the names of those schools, and they're invited to attending the breakfast. This past May, we had 1,300 people in attendance at the breakfast to honor these young men. And so this morning, I invited a few of the young men who have been honored over the last several years at our 200 Plus Scholars Breakfast to be with us this morning. So I'd like to ask them to stand and just stay standing for just a second. We have Mr. Isaiah Swift, who is a rising senior at Hampton University. I'm sorry, Norfolk State University. Norfolk State University. But all right, no slight. I'm a Hampton grad, so yeah. But Isaiah is the author of a book, Unlock Your Greatness. You can also Google him, and you'll find that he has a TED Talk out on YouTube. Doug Sessions, who is a rising junior at Hampton University. Doug is from right here in the Y.H. Thomas community. He played football and basketball here in the community as a part of Y.H. Thomas Athletic Association, and he was the recipient recently of the Y.H. Thomas Community Center scholarship to attend Hampton University. 200 Plus Scholar. Angelo Suggs, who is a 200 Plus Scholar as well. Angelo is a graduate of the University of Richmond and Regent University, and he is currently a board member here at Y.H. Thomas Community Center. And then lastly, Sean Blunt, a 200 Plus Scholar, who at 19 just obtained his real estate license. So these are part of the young men that we are part of their village, and they are destined for greatness in our community, and we've been proud to be a part of supporting them to achieve their goals, because we know that they're going to return to our community and do great things and help us better our community. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And those young men have shared in more than $13 million in scholarships that have been offered by colleges and universities who partner with us on that event, and also the Gates the Gates Foundation. In addition to the scholarships that they share in from the schools, 200 Plus Men offers $1,000 scholarships to some of our students to help them with the transition from high school to college. Those funds are provided directly to the student to help them purchase those things that they need to get started in school, because we don't want any student not to be able to get to enroll in school because they cannot get the dorm deposit or buy their laptop or the small things that they need. Now, we understand that African American males, these are the young men that we honored at the end of their high school term, but we have to make sure that we get the young men to the high school term. And so what we've done is, for the past 13 years, we created a brother-to-brother camp to work with middle school kids in our region. For the last 13 years, we have been taking young men over to Camp Silver Beach, YMCA Camp Silver Beach on the eastern shore of Virginia. It's a 150-acre camp over there that allows them to participate in a lot of great activities, and as well as straight talk sessions. We have men from our organization who come in and participate in that mentoring process. It's a 4-day camp. They leave tomorrow for the 14th year of our camp to go to Camp Silver Beach. We have 25 young men from the region who will be heading over there. Our team leader, Mr. Terry Clark, is with us this morning. He'll be taking them and running that show. We have our men who will chaperone the camp participants this year. Another great experience. So in addition to that camp, and lastly, I want to say one of the most recent programs that we've added to our portfolio of programs focusing on African American males is the 200 Plus Scholars Academy. We have, with the support of a grant from the Hampton Roads Community Foundation, last year we started the academy to help mentor young African American middle school boys from the time that they are ready to make the transition from middle school all the way till they're going to high school, and we're getting ready to go into the second year of that program. This is with us today. We have 5 young men who recently completed the first year of our program and obtained their blue blazers. I'd like to ask these 200+ Scholars Academy young men to please stand and be recognized. So with that, you know, I got a script here, but you know, I don't need a script to talk about 200+ men. I've been president of the organization for 10 years, and I got a lot that I could say, but in the interest of time, I'm going to say that you have 50 strong, you have 100 black men, you have 200+ men focusing on African American males in our community. We know that we need 400+ men, 800+ men, and 1,000+ men to complete this journey. And we ask that you join us on this journey and help us achieve what we're trying to do for our young people in our community. Thank you.
Wonderful.